Test.
Test, 1, 2, test.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, Dites, we heard you just fine.
Thank you very much.
Let's go ahead and get started. It's 5 o'clock and I want to call the Public Works and Safety Standing Committee to order. But before I start the meeting to order, I want to announce that some committee members, staff, and the public are attending remotely via Zoom as well as on site. All participants joining by phone should mute their phones when not speaking to avoid background noise. During the meeting, please make sure that you announce yourself by name and title every time you speak so the public that is observing knows who is speaking. When speaking, be sure to speak directly into a microphone so that all comments are heard and the record of the meeting is accurate. This is critical given the number of remote participants and is current guidance from the Kansas Attorney General. The public is allowed to participate by Zoom or submit comments by email prior to the meeting, and those comments will be included in the record of this meeting. The public may also indicate their intent to provide remote public comment by contacting the clerk's office by 5 p.m. the Thursday before the meeting. The public also will have an opportunity to provide brief comments either by telephone or via Zoom from the 5th floor conference room of the municipal office building. Public comment will be allowed during each agenda item. Comments should be limited to the item at hand and per the commission rules of procedures. Should not include any rude or derogatory remarks, reflections as to integrity, abusive comments, and statements as to motives and personalities. And with that, I will now call the meeting of the Public Works and Safety Standing Committee for Monday, June 24th, 2024 to order, and I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Roll call. Henry. Lopez.
Here.
Burns.
Here.
Stites.
Here.
Kane. We have an absent memo. Burrows.
Here. Thank you, committee. Before we get started, I would like to announce for those that are online and here this evening that the Administration and Human Services Standing Committee has been canceled for this evening. So if you are here for that meeting, the meeting has been canceled and the only business that will be conducted tonight is the Public Works and Safety Standing Committee. Okay, committee. The first order of business is approving of the minutes from March 27th, 2023. Is there a motion for approval?
Move for approval.
Second. We have a motion and second. Any comments? Hearing none. Clerk, please call roll.
Roll call. Lopez.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Stites.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, committee. Committee, we have 3 action items this evening. Item number 1 is a resolution authorizing donation of equipment from Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department to the city of Pierceville, Kansas. I will recognize staff from our fire department, and I don't see anyone here this evening.
That's okay, Commissioner. I drafted it. I can cover it.
Please, counsel.
Thank you. This is Casey Meyer from the legal department. This was requested by the fire department. They have a water tender that is no longer useful to them. They estimated the potential value if sold in an auction to be $1,000 or less. They have worked out an agreement with the city of Pierceville, Kansas. Pierceville can use the water tender. And so this resolution is to approve the donation from the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department to Pierceville, Kansas, the use of our 1973 water tender.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Committee, any questions, any comments? Commissioner Burns?
Is it a donation or are they paying $1,000?
It's a donation.
The value of the donation is $1,000. Is that?
We are not being reimbursed. It's just a donation, but if we were to sell it at auction, it would be maximum value of $1,000.
Great.
It's Pierceville.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Stites, any questions, comments?
Nope, I don't have any comments. Motion to approve.
Okay, before I get there, I do have to ask, is there any member, is there anyone appearing in person who would like to speak to this item? Is there anyone online who would like to speak to this item? Has
All
anyone,
hands are raised.
anybody submit written testimony on this item?
No comments were received.
Thank you. I would now Commissioner Burns.
I think for the record, where is Pierceville? You know?
I don't know, Commissioner.
It's gonna be west of Dodge City off 400 highway. It's about 378 miles from here.
Right, I see it's in Finney County, Kansas. So yes, that's far out west.
So are we gonna have to haul it or are they gonna come and get it?
No, I'd recommend that they would come get it since a donation in the first place.
Just, I just wanted to, so I was looking, am I on? Yeah. This tender tanker, this fire truck, it's a great big tanker. I was reading it's a 73 Ford 9000, just a big truck, but it's a great big tanker. And when, I think this is great. This is a really good vehicle for the fire department down there, just because, of the farmers down there burn all their grass. And this is basically what it's for, is for big grass fires and whatnot. I think it'd be perfect. So anyway, I wanted to second that.
So Commissioner Stites, I accept your motion to approve, and I believe Commissioner Lopez seconded that motion. Okay, clerk, please call roll.
Roll call, Lopez,
Aye.
Burns,
Aye.
Stites,
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, committee. That takes us to item number 2. It's a community-based violence intervention and prevention initiative site-based grant. I will recognize, it says here Laura Cromwell, but I don't believe you are Laura Cromwell, but we do have a representative from the police department here. If you would introduce yourself, please.
Good evening. I'm Shane Turner. I'm the Assistant Chief of Police for the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to give an overview of the grant?
So the police department is seeking approval to accept funding if awarded under the fiscal year 24 Bureau of Justice Assistance Community-Based Violence Intervention and Prevention Grant Program. The CBIPI for short program is offering federal funding to organizations proposing multidisciplinary strategies that will disrupt cycles of violence and retaliation in an overall effort to reduce gun violence. The police department is requesting $2 million to support several different strategies, to include programs for youth addressing gun violence at our police athletic league, trauma response in cooperation with ad hoc, reentry resources provided by the Village Initiative, technology equipment and investigative software programs, and overtime for officers to patrol areas most impacted by gun violence. The project period will extend from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2027. There's no match requirement for this program.
Great. Sounds wonderful. Any questions, any comments, committee? Commissioner Burns.
What's the total amount you're requesting?
$2 million.
Oh, you are going up to the max?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Stites, any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask if there's any comments received from the public.
No comments were received.
Thank you. I'll ask clerk if there's anybody online who wishes to make a statement.
No hands are raised.
Thank you. Is there anyone appearing in person this evening besides our representative from the police department that would care to speak to this grant? Let the record show no one stepped forward. Thank you. Now I would entertain a motion, committee.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Please call roll.
Roll call, Lopez,
Here, I'm sorry, aye.
Burns,
Aye.
Stites,
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, committee. That takes us to item 3, our final issue for this evening, authorizing the approval of an agreement for a school resource officer. And I see that we will still have the same conferee. I anticipated as much. So if you would pull your microphone just a little closer, please. And please share with us.
So I don't know if I have to introduce myself again, but so I'll go straight into the proposition. So basically, the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department is requesting a resolution authorizing the approval of an agreement between the Unified Government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, and the Kansas State School for the Blind for the provision of a school resource officer.
Thank you, counsel. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Sure, the terms of the agreement, I don't know, Shane, if you want to cover those, or if you want me to.
Yeah, I did. So basically, the terms of the agreements, the highlights are that we would basically initiate a cost that's currently being invoiced at $76,513.11. We have an agreement that this contract or this MOU would extend to 10 years past this start date, with each individual year being negotiated based on the average salary of the police officer for the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department. Basically, it's the same number. In this particular instance, it'd be about a 4% increase from what we had in 2024 year. And that's the result of the pay increase for the police department. And any such increases in the future would be factored into that agreement. Other than that, it's a standard policy and procedures that's governed underneath the police department for a police officer to be on the premise of a school to serve the purpose of security, and as necessary, any kind of requirements for the school as far as police services required.
Committee, any questions? Commissioner Lopez.
So, so basically, we're gonna go ahead and pay our police officer, but then we're going to invoice or send the school the invoice to pay that bill, the police officer.
Yes, sir. So the school is going to be paying for the services that police officer would normally provide for the city.
We're just being reimbursed. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Will these, Commissioner Burns?
Has the police department seen any upsurge in the crime around there?
So when the School for the Blind reached out to us and made this request last year, I was still in this position as the assistant chief, and I made contact with him, and there's no upsurge in crime. But they are cognizant of the security for the area that they're in. When I asked specifically if there were any issues such as, the students getting into fights, and problems with employees, anything that would require an extensive amount of security. And they said no, as far as the students go and as far as the employees go, but they did say they had a couple of people climb the fence that surrounds the property, and they would feel safer. The people that engage their services would feel safer. And I'm sure that the students there would feel safer with the presence of a law enforcement officer. And I believe that was the primary motivation for them making this request.
If no one has ever been there, it's a wonderful facility. And, they just do so much for the kids there. And, they've been in Wyandotte County forever, as far as I can remember.
I would agree, sir. When I was there, we took a tour and they showed us everything to the apartments that they have there for the students, the cooking facilities, the programs they all have available. And everybody was especially nice and very happy to have us there. And we're very excited and engaging in this agreement with us.
And they come statewide, right? The students?
Yes,
Yeah.
they come statewide, actually. So this particular school is different than the ones we normally engage with, and that they operate on a 12-month basis. So no summer break. As a matter of fact, when I was there, they said that some of their busiest time is during the summer, where they provide instruction for those who would otherwise be engaged throughout the school year. So yes, they come from statewide.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Stites, any comments, questions?
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I would have, and I think it's a well-deserved that they should have an officer SRO on site, makes sense. My only concern is that it is removing another already taxed police department with manpower off of the streets into another position into the school. Not that they don't need it and they don't deserve it. It's just that we're taking another person out of the rotation, if you will, for an officer on patrol. But I'm in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stites. You bring up a fine point.
And I'd just like to add, I know several of you know this, but Shane mentioned it, our Kansas City, Kansas Police Department also has SROs in Piper, Turner, and Bishop Ward High School. So it's not a unique agreement. It's pretty consistent.
Well, it's an environment also that our young people have a chance to interact and see the police department in a more positive light than what may happen outside the school property. So we appreciate that. I'll ask the clerk if there's no more comments from the committee, I'll ask the clerk if there are any comments received from the public.
No comments were received.
Thank you. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak to this item?
No hands are raised.
Thank you. Is there anyone in person who would like to address this item? Let the record show no one stepped forward. Thank you. I will entertain a motion.
Stites, motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call roll.
Roll call. Lopez.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Stites.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, committee. That concludes our meeting this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. You guys want to stick around a while, huh? Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call roll.
Roll call. Lopez.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Stites.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Again, for those that are watching, the Administration and Human Services Standing Committee, which usually follows the Public Works and Public Safety Committee, has been canceled this evening. Just a last announcement prior to adjournment. We are now adjourned. Thank you.